I'm Sarah. I'm an admissions counselor. We are having technical difficulties, but we're going to chat about College Go Week and college readiness, college preparedness, all the things you can do as freshman, sophomore, junior, and we're just going to wait on everyone who's in our old chat room to join us over here where I'm actually live, and we'll kick things off. So we're going to hang out. I've been Skyping with my colleague, Christine, who's a rock star, making sure that I've been taken care of and we're getting live up and running. So thank you all. I know you're all in the chat room over there. So we're going to wait for everybody to migrate over here and get this show on the road. So the first piece of advice I would offer you today is to always be flexible in your college journey. And then, yeah, we appreciate you guys coming over from where you were and doing what we sent out. You're awesome. I am technically challenged. You're the best. So we'll get started here in just a few seconds, probably minutes, because it's going to take you some time to get over here. There are people joining us. I see 5. And if all of my trusty sidekicks could, Caitlin and Christine, if you guys could just chat in the box, and then I'll make you a moderator, because we've had some difficulties today and I'm not really sure how to do it anywhere. But we'll get started in just a few minutes, guys. We're going to wait on a few people, a few other people to pop in. There's Christine. She's already a moderator, I think, so she's good. We'll wait on everybody else, all of my moderators. Oh, Joffrey's one. Okay, so you guys are already moderators. We're good to go. Let's get started. My name is Sarah. I work in the Office of Admissions, and we're going to chat about College Go Week and college readiness and all of the things that you can do right now to prepare for college in the future. For those of you who aren't in Indiana, or for those of you in Indiana who might still not know what College Go Week is, it's an Indiana initiative that just focuses on preparing students for going to college. Nick, glad you joining us now is just perfect. But College Go Week is starting tomorrow. It's a week in Indiana to allow our students to do everything that they need to do and learn. Sorry, my phone just fell. Learn about everything that they need to do throughout high school to prepare for college come their senior year. So just to give you a brief rundown of things you might be learning as a freshman, sophomore, junior during College Go Week. And even if you're not in Indiana, please stick around because this is applicable to everyone. But freshmen are going to be talking about taking challenging coursework. We want to make sure that you're in AP or IB classes. If your high school offers them, make sure that you're challenging yourself within reason. We want you to enjoy high school and we don't want you to take on too much. Freshmen should be getting involved in clubs and extracurricular activities. That way, come your sophomore, junior year, you can start to take on leadership roles and opportunities, which are things that we like to see for all of our students. So get involved early and also start preparing financially for college. Start having those discussions with your parents about how you're going to pay for college, how much you can afford, so that those discussions come your senior year aren't so scary. Sophomores want to take the pre-ACT or the PSAT 10 test, which is a tongue twister, but start, I would bookmark Khan Academy. It's a wonderful test prep resource, and that will be really helpful for you just to do a little bit each day to prep for the ACT or SAT. Will do a lot in the long run so that you don't have to cram entirely for it for your junior or senior year. You'll want to keep taking challenging courses sophomore, and you'll also want to explore some interest. If you can job shadow, or you can have a summer internship or a part-time job at a veterinary office, if that's what you're interested in, for example, those are the types of things that you can start doing as a sophomore, just to explore different areas and places that you think you might want to be. Juniors, I know life is busy. I've been on a lot of high school visits, and my juniors just kind of look at me with glazed eyes because I know that there's a lot that's on your plate right now and a lot of discussions that you're having that are a little bit scary. So breathe, first of all, and then start planning college visits if you can. If your school gives you a couple of days off, make use of those, make good use of those. And you might not get to go to every school that you're interested in, but if you can start out by doing a college visit at a large public school like Purdue, and then maybe a small liberal arts institution, those are kind of the two ends of the scale. And by going to two really different college experiences, you might be able to get a feel for which one is a better fit for you and which type of schools you might want to continue to visit throughout your junior year and then into your senior year. You'll want to take the SAT or ACT if you can between January or June. My best test prep advice is for you to take the SAT once, the ACT once, and then take whichever test you're more comfortable with again. That's a really good way if you can maybe take 3 tests if you have the resources to do such. That's a great way to kind of get a feel for which test is better for you. We accept both. We're totally fine with both, but we want to make sure that you're comfortable with whichever standardized test you're choosing to take. And seniors, apply before November 1st. Apply early. Please, please, please don't wait until November or December of your senior year to start thinking about college, because it really is something that you should think about truly the summer before your senior year and then leading into that first semester. A lot of college admissions deadlines are around that late October, early November timeframe. And so we want to make sure that you're meeting those. Be sure to track your applications. One really great way to do that, and honestly, this is great for underclassmen as well, create a free email account on Gmail and have that solely be your college admissions email, because we're going to send you a lot of information. If you're applying to multiple schools, you're going to get lots of information from all of us. So having a single email address where you can go when you're reviewing your college information, when you need to access something, can be really helpful. So you can do that early, but definitely do it by your senior year. And make sure you have a backup plan in place. We want to make sure that not only are you applying to one school, but applying to a few schools so that all of your bases are covered, and come time for graduation, you're ready to rock and roll. So that somewhat quickly covers our College Go prep guide that we have on YouTube. All of the information that I just discussed is on our YouTube channel, so check that out. It will go through everything in detail and be really helpful. So I know you guys have questions, because I was in the live earlier in the live chat when I was over here trying to get things to work. So let's answer your questions, everybody. Give me 1 second here. My moderator friends are just killing it. So you guys probably know everything you need to. Live's over. I'm kidding. Let's see here, though. Let me scroll up to the top. What makes a strong application essay? Great question. I love talking about essays, so we can just talk all day long about those. We want to see your personality in your essay. That's really your time to let us kind of understand who you are. So a lot of students can be in student council, band, and play basketball, but we want to know how those experiences create you and your personality. So be authentic and be genuine and write about whatever it is that you care about and can just talk about till the ends of the earth. One really good piece of advice for especially juniors, but even sophomores or freshmen, the Common App and the Coalition App essay topics don't change a whole lot from year to year. So if you are in an English class this year and you need to write an essay and you're wondering what to write about, I would recommend looking at those essay topics. And if you can write an essay for class that fits one of those essay topics, then you can save it, and come August or September of your senior year, you copy and paste that baby over, you make the edits that your teacher suggested, and you're ready to rock and roll. So that's always my piece of advice for especially juniors, because that essay can really become kind of daunting come your senior year when you have homework and all sorts of senior things going on. The last thing you want to do is sit down and write an essay. So if you can get that done and out of the way and at least have a pretty solid draft in place, you're going to have a whole lot less stress your senior year. And that's really what we want. Let's see, some other folks had sent in questions earlier. So shout out to you if you read our email and sent in our questions and you're still joining us on this live. Let's see what they all had to say. Lori wanted to know, with the amount of dual credit and AP classes that students are taking in high school, are there minimum credits that a student must complete at Purdue to receive a bachelor's degree? Yes. So you can't transfer in all of your dual credit and all of your AP credit and show up at Purdue and graduate in a semester, unfortunately. You'll have to take 32 credits above the 300 level at West Lafayette in order to receive a Purdue degree. For a lot of students who transfer in a lot of AP or dual credit, they will choose to use those kind of free spaces in their plan of study to study abroad or to add a minor, or maybe even to double major, depending on what you're interested in. Some students will intern for a semester during the school year rather than just during the summer, and take a smaller credit load just to make things easy for them and to give them a kind of a different opportunity. So you have a lot of options should you choose to take quite a bit of dual credit or AP. I suppose you could graduate early. Every student will look different when it comes to AP and dual credit. Truly, every situation is a little bit unique. So just if you have questions, contact our office. We would be more than happy to help guide you in terms of what classes should you take, what things will transfer in. The list of AP credit is on our website. And you can also see dual credit and how that transfers on our transfer credit equivalency guide, which is under the link for transfer students on our website as well. So if you want to see how a dual credit class might transfer in to determine whether or not you want to take it, that can be a really good resource. But thank you, Lori, for asking such a great question. Nina wants to know what student life is like at Purdue. How much are students involved in clubs, activities, football games, things of that nature? This is really important, not only at Purdue, but also to when you're searching for any college. You want to make sure that there are things that you want to do there, because some research Purdue did, we partnered with Gallup, and we found that it's not necessarily where you choose to go to college that matters. It's what you do with your experiences while you're there. So we want to make sure that wherever you go, there are experiences that you want to get plugged in with. So when you're searching for schools, see if you can find a list of clubs and organizations, or look at their study abroad programs that they offer, because those are things that really truly matter when it comes to your future career success. At Purdue, our students are so involved. We have over 1,000 clubs and student organizations in every possible area that you can imagine. I always have to give a shout out. I probably did this on the last live, to the Pet a Puppy Club, because they literally just pet shelter dogs, and that's amazing. So whatever club you're interested in, whatever things you care about, make sure that you're looking at schools who have those events and activities and things that matter to you, because that's really important in your future success. Melanie wants to know, this came from the chat. Melanie wants to know if I would speak to connections potential students from the West Coast might make with alumni to learn more about their experience in particular majors. That's a great question, and I would be happy to chat about that. Our alumni are literally all across the world, and the Purdue Alumni Association has chapters in, I don't even know how many cities and states, but probably quite a few. I know for certain that they have some on the West Coast, especially in the Bay Area. I think there's one in Orange County, but their website has links to all of the chapters that we have in all of our states and probably countries. But I just lost my train of thought. Our alumni love to chat about their experiences. They're wonderful resources. So if you know anyone who went to Purdue, use them to your advantage. Specific events that you can go to, though, will probably vary based on the alumni club and chapter. You can always reach out directly to their officers who are on their website and chat with them and see if they have any connections you can use. But then the Office of Admissions also has some events throughout the year. One is called Preview Purdue that we offer for prospective students, and usually we will invite alumni in particular areas to join us because they all have a different Purdue story. So if you can attend to any of our events, or if you can connect directly with that Purdue Alumni Association club, that will be a really good way to get to know the Purdue alums in your area and learn from their experiences. And that doesn't necessarily just go for Purdue alums. Talk to everyone, especially as a freshman and sophomore. Get to know what people liked about their college, what they didn't like about their college, their major, things their friends majored in. Just ask as many questions as you possibly can, because that's really going to make it helpful for you when you're making an educated decision. Let's see here. Back to some questions. Oh, this came from the chat. I don't, probably earlier when I was hanging out, when I was over here frantic because I knew you guys were waiting on me. Ashton, sorry, wanted to know if you were a strong and competitive candidate for admission, what would you be looking for in your college essay? Kind of talked about this, but we really just want to see your personality. We want to see kind of the authentic side of who you are. For some students, they can be very broad in their essay and kind of share different experiences that they've been through or different stories. Other students will take a single day or a single moment in their lives and really expand on how that's created their personality or created kind of who they are today. So there are two kind of separate ways that you can go about that admissions essay, but we really just want to get to know you better. So however you want to let us into who you are will be perfectly fine. Benjamin, this came from the chat too. Benjamin wants to know how much extracurricular activities and community service hours affect your chances on getting into Purdue. Of course, we want to see students who are involved, and you can be involved in a lot of different ways. You can be in extracurricular activities, you can play sports, you can participate in community service hours, you can hold a part-time job, you can do, oh gosh, a million things. So it doesn't just have to be being in clubs, but we also want to make sure that you're developing your leadership skills within those. So don't feel like you need to stack your application with 60 clubs and be in everything that your high school offers. We would much rather see a student who is in 3 or 4 activities, but they're very involved in those. We want to see you take on leadership roles and really just kind of immerse yourself within those activities. So you don't have to stack your application with a million things, but we do want to see students who are involved in taking on leadership roles within those activities and events. Back to some of the survey questions. Nancy, let's see. No, I'm sorry. Barb wants to know the specific criteria for merit-based scholarships. Well, it's holistic. So a lot of schools will, or some schools will have a kind of a chart. If you have these grades and this test score, you get this amount of scholarship money. And at Purdue, we have a much more holistic approach. So just like we look at kind of the whole package for admissions, we also look at the whole package for for merit scholarships. I'm still talking about extracurriculars. So we'll look at your grades and test scores. We will look at your extracurricular involvement, your leadership experience. We'll read your essay. Letters of recommendation can really come into play when it comes time for scholarship review. So if you can have a couple of really strong letters of recommendation, that will work to your advantage. About 10% of our students get merit scholarships, so they are very competitive. But as long as, but we're really looking for students who are kind of the top tier of the folks who are applying to Purdue. So there's no specific criteria that we're looking for necessarily. We really look at everything that you put in your application. So please be as thorough as possible in that. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Reagan wants to know what makes a student stand out in their application. And I think when we're reviewing applications, we're really looking for students who are genuine and authentic. you have to, I know it's difficult, but you really have to figure out how to put who you are on 7 or 8 sheets of paper. They're actually online, but if you printed them out, they'd be pieces of paper. So we're really looking for those students who can articulate their activities and really share with us how they've made you who you are today, and that can contribute to your Purdue career. So being authentic, being genuine, being really, really thorough. The best analogy I can provide is that when it comes time for me to, I'm going to bend down and pick up my phone because it's on loud right now, and I'm sure you guys are hearing that ring. So sorry. Back again. Isn't live fun? But when we're reviewing an application, when I'm looking at it, it's like I have a puzzle of 20 different pieces. And if I'm putting that puzzle together and it's a 20-piece puzzle, but I only have 10 pieces of that puzzle, it's going to be kind of hard. So it's your job to give us every piece of that puzzle, every piece of your personality, every piece of your activities and your high school career, so that we can put together that puzzle and figure out who you are and who you might be within the confines of Purdue. So just be really thorough, brag on yourselves as much as possible, because that's really going to help us make the most educated decision possible. Let's head over to the chat again and see what's going on there. Hello, everyone. Does participating in different contests help? I assume that's like robotics or whatever other contests there are in high school, show choir contest, whatever. Yes, absolutely. So those are the types of things that we want to see on your application. Oh, then you sent a couple chats later. Should have kept reading. App development contest. Yes. So yeah, absolutely. Share with us if you've competed in a startup pitch contest or, like I said, robotics or show choir competitions. Share those types of things with us, because we might understand what it means to be on the show choir, but to learn that you practice 2 hours a day after school for 6 months to go to some contest really shows your work ethic and your commitment. And those are the types of characteristics that we're looking for. So yes, those things will absolutely help. You just have to share with us. Let's keep seeing here. May I take advanced courses in freshman year of college? If yes, what can I do to take those courses? Of course, you can take advanced classes once you get to Purdue. The trick is you have to have completed, let's say you want to take a 300 level class. Generally, you have to complete the 200 level and the 100 level to get there. So sometimes bringing an AP credit or dual credit will help you start a level above where most other freshmen could be starting. If you don't have AP or dual credit, that's perfectly fine too. Sometimes it can help, sometimes it might not be as helpful, but it just kind of depends on your situation. Again, AP and dual credit can get very specific very fast. Let's go back to the survey questions and see what we have here. Michael wanted to know if we prefer the ACT or the SAT and when he should start taking both tests. I touched on this earlier, but I think people were still joining. If you can if you can take the ACT once, take the SAT once, usually in the spring of your junior year, and then take whatever test you felt more comfortable with, or whichever test you felt you did best on. You can take that again. That's generally the best test prep strategy that we can offer. We're always going to take the scores that benefit you the most, so you don't have to worry about taking a test once or twice or 3 times and having that impact you negatively. We're always going to pick the scores that benefit you the most. So don't worry about that, but make sure that if you have the opportunity to do so, that you're taking a couple standardized tests just to figure out which one works best for you and figure out where you can excel. Allison wants to know if she should wait until her senior year to ask for letters of recommendations from teachers or coaches. What can she do now to make sure that she has quality letters of recommendation in the future? Great question. Teachers, if you can believe this, get very bogged down in August, September, October when students are asking them for letters of recommendation. So if you have teachers that you're really close with right now, or you don't have very good relationships or very strong relationships with a couple of teachers, start meeting those so that come maybe second semester late in the school year, your junior year, you can ask for those letters of recommendation early. That way you're taking time to do it. You're not stressing them out any more than they need to be. And you can get your letter of recommendation in and move on with your application process and your senior year. So waiting until early your senior year can really just put a lot of undue stress on your teachers, and we don't want that at all. So asking early can be really helpful. Don't ask too early because we need to see how they kind of view you through your junior year. But you absolutely can ask for those a bit in advance. And like I said, as freshmen and sophomores and juniors, really find a couple teachers or coaches who you can develop strong relationships with. They write wonderful letters of recommendation, and they just serve as really great mentors throughout your high school career and even sometimes through college. So find those teachers or adults that you can connect with who can provide you with really great advice and then subsequently want to brag on you when it comes time to letters of recommendation. Nick wants to know how college class levels work. So that's going to look a little bit differently for every department on campus. And I'm definitely not an academic advisor, but so let's talk about, I don't know, biology. You're going to start out in a 100 level biology class and take a class or two there, and you're going to learn about specific areas. And then you'll move into a 200 level biology class, and that's going to build on the concepts that you learned in that 100 level class. So think of, gosh, I don't know, high school English. You're continually building on the things that you learned in previous years and previous semesters. So that it works the same in college. It's probably a little bit more detailed than that, but that's the general concept that I can provide you with my limited academic advising experience. Let's see. Oh, gosh, I just forgot which one I was going to answer. Sorry, everybody. Nancy wants to know how she can get more involved with things surrounding Purdue. Well, we have lots of ways, Nancy. You can follow us on social media and join our YouTube lives. We also have 4 visits a day, Monday through Friday. So if you want to visit, we'll basically always be there and would be happy to see you. We also have one on Saturdays. Those Saturday visits fill up very, very fast. So make sure that you register in advance for those. We also have a lot of events, not only on campus, but throughout the country, especially in the fall and a few in the spring. In the fall, we have events called Preview Purdue. We have our admissions counselors are all across the country right now, and we also have some regional folks who are in various metropolitan areas around the United States, and they will host events that not only talk to you about admissions, but sometimes we'll have visitors from catering and dining on campus, or residence life, or a particular college or two. A lot of our college recruiters will join us for some of those events. So attending those can be a really good way to connect not only with the admissions office, but with particular areas around campus. And then we also have a ton of admissions events throughout the year. So make sure that you're on our mailing list. We would love to invite you to those, but you've got to be on our mailing list generally for us to send out that invitation. So and let me see here. Oh, we've got another question. Tali, I hope I pronounced your name right. For letters of recommendation, do teachers write to Purdue directly, or do they send it to you and then you send it over to Purdue? Either way works for us. If your teachers want to send it directly to Purdue, I would probably wait until you submit your application until August 1st comes around. That way we're not holding on to your application or to your letter of recommendation throughout the summer. It just could get a little weird, and you don't want to lose that letter of recommendation. So if they can wait until August 1st, and when that full application season starts to send it, that's perfect. If they want to give it to you and then you can send it to us, that works too. So we don't require letters of recommendation, so we're pretty casual in how we accept those. There aren't, real strict standards or ways that you can send that. You can also upload letters of recommendation directly into the Common App. So that's an option as well. Melinda wants to know what type of SAT score does Purdue enroll for? What are the qualifications in receiving a full ride scholarship? I mentioned scholarships earlier. They're a holistic review, so there aren't any kind of baselines that I can offer. The applicant pool looks different from year to year, and the things that our students participate in and just kind of what the scholarship recipient looks like will vary based on the applicant pool. In terms of SAT scores, the middle 50% for last year's incoming class, if I'm not mistaken, was an 1160 to a 1360. The College of Engineering is going to be a bit on the high side of that. We admit students based into their academic major. So some programs are more competitive than others. And yeah, that's the scoop on test scores for the College of Engineering. Those aren't baselines by any means, but just the middle 50% for our entire freshman class. How are athletic scholarships given out? If you are interested in playing a sport in college, you'll need to register with the NCAA Clearinghouse. That's really the only thing I know about the NCAA Clearinghouse is that you need to register. So talk to your guidance counselor or your coach who can guide you through that process. If you're interested in speaking with any of the Purdue coaches, there is a recruiting questionnaire on PurdueSports.com. So that's how you can get in touch with them, and they can kind of guide you through the D1 student athlete process. Nick wants to know if the PSAT truly reflects on future SAT scores. Are they usually better or worse? I'm not sure, Nick. Yeah, I don't really know any data about whether what they get on the PSAT really reflects what they get on the ACT or SAT. So great question. I would probably check with your guidance counselor. They might be able to provide some insight. We really never look at PSAT scores, so I guess that's why I don't know whether or not they reflect on a student's application, because we don't know what you get on the PSAT at all. How many years do we need to stay in Indiana to get in-state reductions on fees? Here's a scoop with in-state tuition. You need to live in the glorious state of Indiana for a full calendar year, not pursuing educational goals, activities, things of that nature for a full year in order to qualify for in-state tuition. Or you need to be able to prove that your parents moved to Indiana for something other than in-state tuition. That's all ran through our bursar's office and the office of the registrar. I can't remember which one right now. But they are the ones who dictate what's in-state and what's out of state. For some schools, they're a bit more lenient, and you can claim in-state residency after your freshman year, after your sophomore year. At Purdue, if you're an out-of-state student, you're an out-of-state student all 4 years, and we don't offer tuition reciprocity with other states, which is a question that usually comes right after I say that. So that's the scoop on in-state, out-of-state tuition. Let's see here. Jeff wants to know, I took some high school level courses while in middle school, such as honors geometry. So when the application asks for my courses, would I put that under the freshman year, or is there a separate area? I believe it's under the freshman year. I could be mistaken, and I don't want to tell you wrong. But I am nearly certain that you would just put that under your freshman year. There may be a section. I think it would stick out to you if there was a separate section for you to put that down. So if you don't see that separate section, I would just put it under your freshman year. You can always throw a note in the additional info section on the Common App, which is kind of my fallback for all things that might be a little strange on your application or a little bit different. Just throw a note that lets us know that you took that in 8th grade and didn't know where else to put it. I cannot remember on the application if there's a separate place for junior high grades or not, but if you put it under your freshman year and then throw a note in, we'll totally understand what the situation was. Let's see. I think we're getting all of our questions answered. So if you guys have any more questions, throw those in the chat real quick. Otherwise, we will wrap things up. Again, thank you so much for hopping over to this live stream when things were a little crazy on our end. On the other one, technical difficulties are fun, and I appreciate you hanging with us and sticking out to come over here. If you have any specific application questions that didn't get answered, if you have any questions about applying to college that you have as a freshman or sophomore or junior, please send us an email, tweet us, call us, DM us on Instagram, Write us on Facebook. I think I covered all the bases. I guess you could even contact us on YouTube if you wanted. But however you want to get in touch, we would be more than happy to provide advice, provide input, and make sure that you're all set when it comes time to apply to college, and making sure that you're making decisions now that will really benefit you in the future. So get in touch with us. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications. When is the next live session? Great question. Hang on just a second. Oh, I don't have my calendar pulled up. Give me 1 second. My old friends might be able to help me out. Hang on, I gotta pull up my calendar and I'll let you know. Our next YouTube live is October 11th at 6 o'clock Central. No, 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. I don't know what time zone I'm in, but I can't remember the topic, to be totally honest with you. My brain's kind of fried right now. But we will be live again, and that will focus a little bit more towards seniors, but juniors, sophomores, even freshmen, whoever wants to join us live, we're more than happy to chat with you. So October 11th, we'll be live. Subscribe and turn on notifications for YouTube, and then you will get buzzed, and we'll let you know when we're live. We'll be on the right channel and live stream next time. We'll figure that out, you guys. You're awesome for sticking with us. And Caitlin, let me know. We'll be talking about Purdue deadlines and how those impact you, what deadlines you need to know. So some things that are pretty important, I suppose, for seniors. And that's the scoop. So thank you for joining. And we will look forward to chatting with you and seeing you on our next YouTube live. Have a good day. Boiler up.